So today we are going to talk about a specific topic. It's going to be bankruptcy, right? You can say it in French, in Creole, or in many languages as you want. You can say bankruptcy, Fayit, Lafayette, call it what you want, but it means the same thing. The money is gone, or you broke, basically. I don't know.
Something like
I don't want to say the term broke,
that.
but yeah, hey,
No,
we are grown enough to know this is something that happened. People, hey, life happens, right? Right now, as we speak, Spirit Airlines, one of the biggest airlines in the US, has officially shut down. I think that's the news that shocked everybody. I saw video of people in the airports while waiting for their airplane or make their trips, and they just heard that the company just shut down. So it was a disaster. It was a very sad news for a lot of people who used to have access to cheap flights. I've me personally used the services of Spirit many times, right? Because it's cheap and we love cheap things. Eh? Right? But
we
14,000 people now are going to lose their job because the company shut down. They had 14,000 workers, right? And now they don't have jobs. Spirit have asked the government for about $500 million in bailout money, but the government didn't provide it. And that's why it's over. And with the panelists tonight, we are going deep on this topic. If you are watching on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, drop your CD in the comment. Let us know where you're listening from, and let us know also that you are here. And also, so I can make sure that the chat box system that I have can pick up your comment. So make sure that
Amen.
I have the comments right in there with me, right, guys? So we need that. So I will go ahead and have Valdini introduce himself and go ahead with the data, and we'll start talking without any further ado.
Right. Thank you for that amazing introduction, Jonathan. So, uh, my name is Valdini. So, let's go back to the reality of it. So, let me. Oh, okay. So, maybe my mic is okay. So, how about now? How about now? Sounds better. Okay, so let me give everyone a full picture because the story has been building for a lot of times. So like Spirit Airlines didn't just collapse overnight. It didn't happen just tonight, and no, it has been coming. So it has been the second bankruptcy in less than 2 years. So they failed the first time. They tried to restructure. They came back and then jet fuel prices because of the war. We already did a show on that because of the war in Iran. So the fuel prices increased so much. So that's why they had to say, okay, they went to the Congress and then wanted a bailout. So unfortunately, it didn't work, and then costs exploded, and they couldn't recover. So they went back to the court a second time, and then it didn't pass. So basically, that's what happened with Spirit.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Well, for our audience, my name is Yvan, and sorry, yeah, and I would like to say that's ultimately the question that ended up happening. Why didn't Congress help them in the first time? Because the president actually floated the idea of saving the company. We should bail them out. But ultimately, the creditors, and they even gave a proposal, and the creditors ultimately did not accept. So, what ended up happening is that the president didn't feel like risking taxpayer money for a company that had already declared bankruptcy. So now it brings up the bigger question: when does a company or when does a government step in to bail out a company? When does it let it fail?
And that question right there, I think this is why we are in this conversation, and that's going to be the first part of our discussion. It's like in situations like that, the government can intervene when a company is that big and bail out. Exactly what Spirit tried to do, right? And this is exactly what we're going to break down. Because whether you're a business owner, whether you work for somebody, whether you're someone who just lost your job at Spirit, you need to understand what bankruptcy actually is and what it means, what it does to a company, what it does to a person. Because not only a company can file for bankruptcy, but a single person can also file for bankruptcy, right? We want to explain to you what that means when you go to that route of filing bankruptcy. And if you were ever to find yourself in that situation, what can you do? When should you take that decision? And what can be the consequences? Well, let's not say consequences, but what happens
The
after
next steps.
the
Let's
next
say
step,
the next
right?
steps. Let's say the
Yes,
next steps.
right. And we are not only going to explain that broadly, but we're also going to use situations that have happened in our personal or home country back in Haiti, of maybe companies that have filed for bankruptcy and what happened. So we're going to just do like compare like some type of comparison between the countries, the system, bankruptcy system in the US and in Haiti, right? But mostly we want to explain to you what does it mean for you to go bankrupt, right? And what are the impacts and what happened after, right? And if you're watching and you know someone who maybe filed for bankruptcy before, or you filed for bankruptcy
Call
before,
them out.
you know,
Call them out.
you don't have to say their name. You can just let us know that this is something that you're aware of. You've heard of people filing for bankruptcy, right? And that's basically what we're going to discuss, right, Valdini? So let's start from
Yeah,
the very beginning, because I know
the
people
very
watching
beginning.
right now, they hear the word bankruptcy and they think it means broke.
It's your words. Your words.
I mean,
My words, you guys don't think people watching think bankruptcy means that you broke?
so if you want to be technical about it, so in the US there are different types of bankruptcy. So even in the bankruptcy sector, so there are different chapters. So they call it chapter. So there's chapter 7, chapter 11, and chapter 13. So now there's the simple version. Chapter 7 is the full shutdown, liquidation. You sell everything. That's basically why I think, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. So Spirit is trying to sell the entire fleet for about 500 millions. So which is on average price for 23 million per aircraft, because we have to think about it. Like this is the only way for them to get out of it, because even if the company is bankrupt, they still have to pay the bills. So you sell everything, pay who you can, and you start over. Chapter 11 is basically what Spirit did. So you go to court, you say, let me try to reorganize. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So, and then chapter 13 for us, regular people, I don't know, maybe one of my colleagues not concerned, but I mean, for me, chapter chapter 13 is just for me. So who wants to help stuff, like for instance, they post the bills and then they give you time, because time is important, because when you're filing for bankruptcy you need time to reorganize your entire finance. So yeah.
So what I want to mention for audience who speak Creole, right? L'autant de parler de bankruptcy, ki sa vle di? Bankruptcy pa vle di ke ou broke ou bien ou pa gen l'argent. Bankruptcy son proses legal ki eksiste aux Etats-Unis, kote ke se kom si son apel ou fe. Ou leve mon lev ou di me zami bagay yon ti jan trop pou mwen nan mouman, pote mse kou, ou kompren nou fe apel. Son prosesus legal ki eksiste nan sistem nan. Kote kou nya la wale, wè samdou la, so li kapab bon moun, li kapab bon kompany tou. Eswe samdou la e wale nan tribunal pou jwen proteksyon. Et dans protection ça occasionne protection contre bien personnel qu'on possède yo. L'offre alpha bankruptcy pas veut dire que toute dette ou te gen yo disparaît. Est-ce que ça nous la gen différents types. Gen type pendant collègue moi sou t'expliquer a que li capable c'est un processus côté que et ou faire un payment plan. Ça veut dire yo bon temps pour capable évaluer dépenses yo et puis ouais font payment plan pour ka repayer ça te payer. You comprend? So, and just to mention that in English, right? Bankruptcy is a legal process. It's not just running out of money. It's you going to a court and saying I cannot pay what I owe and I need the help to deal with that. And that's different than actually being booked. That's what I wanted to mention, guys, for our audience.
and it's also a good thing. So I want to explain something about the bankruptcy. So as soon as you file, something that happens is automatic stay. That means nobody, none of your creditors can come and collect. They can't contact you. Everything will stay on hold while the court handles your bankruptcy documents. So let's say I owe money to Val, I owe money to Jonathan. Then if I file for bankruptcy, they cannot contact me about those debts really. So I just want to make it clear, your debt does not disappear, but you have a little breathing room just for the court to handle the financial chaos that you're in really.
And it's important again to mention that bankruptcy is a legal right in America. It's a right that you have. It's a law that Congress put in place and give you the authority and the right to file for bankruptcy. But now we want it's not a punishment when you file for bankruptcy. Yes, there are consequences, but it's the system itself. It's not to punish you, right? It's a system that says when things get too bad, there's a way out, right? The
You
question is,
understand?
what does it cost you now when you file for bankruptcy, and what is next when you
It
file
costs you
for
everything. It
bankruptcy?
costs you
Yes,
everything.
and this is I am so happy that you went on that, Jonathan, because the first thing people have to know is gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you on your credit score. Like for instance, Chapter 7 stays on your credit score for like 10 years. 10 years is gonna be on your credit score, and Chapter 13 for 7 years. So just a reminder for someone who just opted on the live. So your credit score will drop potentially by 200. So it is fine if you had 750 as a credit score. It is okay, but when you add so, like 550 as a credit score and then you file for bankruptcy, it is harder. That means getting a mortgage, a car loan, a business loan, it's gonna be very hectic and very difficult. However, there are a lot of ways to go around it and then fix it, because remember, bankruptcy gives you the opportunity to rebuild, and then everyone with money, even big businessmen, everyone has filed for bankruptcy at some point of in their lives. So
So when you say everyone have filed for bankruptcy, do you guys know anybody who ever filed for bankruptcy?
I mean, not you per se, but you probably you didn't file it now, but eventually.
Or you saying if even if people don't file for bankruptcy now, they're gonna file for bankruptcy in the future?
I
If that
mean,
were to
it
happen.
depends. It's a life decision. Like I'm okay. So let me just be specific on that. So it's like when life, it's like let's say it as a hurricane. So bankruptcy is like a hurricane. Let's say there's a hurricane in your life, and then you have no other choice than file for bankruptcy. So if that hurricane comes to you, don't hesitate to file for bankruptcy, because it's gonna be better instead of waiting for the hurricane and not file for it.
Ivan, what do you think about that? What, like, let's say in our community, right? How do you think bankruptcy going to impact people in our community? Because we have to be honest with ourselves. Yes, it could be a relief or a breather, like you said, but for people in our community, Haitians or immigrants, bankruptcy is not something that we touch. It's not something that we talk about. It's something that we avoid because we know it's a bad thing. It's not that should never be one of your options. I mean, at least that's what I was taught, and I'm pretty sure that's what most of you guys were taught. So now tonight that we have that opportunity to educate people on that topic, is it something that people should consider? Like, what are the
Well,
impact in our
well, in
community?
in our community per se, when we talk about bankruptcy, aside from the fact that, like you said earlier, it's a signal that you're broke, but no, one of the biggest question in our community is the question of immigration law, if I can say. So a lot of question, if I file for bankruptcy, how will that affect my immigration case? Will I get deported? And the short answer is there's there's a relation, but it's not like it's a direct cause about it. So your bankruptcy file, is a public charge. So, in a way, it has nothing to do with immigration. But at the same time, the officer reviewing your case might take a look at your history. And that bankruptcy filing gives them a kind of idea that maybe you're not as, I would say, solvent, or I would say not not so safe around your money. So while it does not technically affect your case, it's a factor that they might look at it to determine a an opinion or a decision, really. So I would say talk to a financial advisor and talk to an attorney because we are not attorneys here. We're not financial advisors yet.
So, sa vle di, pou tout moun ki pale kreyol yo, le yon moun fe fayit, ou bien le yon moun fal for bankruptcy, ou bien sa nou le tem fayit la. Li kapab gen konsekans imigrasyon. Men fe fayit, ou bien fal for bankruptcy, pa vle di ki otomatikman yo pral deporte ou. On pren si yon prosedi legal, debi yon moun sou sol la, ou gen drwa sa, pou fal for bankruptcy. Men on konen tou, sa ka rive, parce yo ka jujel comme un manque de responsabilité financière. C'est-à-dire qu'il y a quelques décisions immigration pour prendre en futur et puis que ça ka peut-être ouvert et puis yo dit le fait que ou pas de gérer la vie financièrement arrivé dans situation ça, li capable qu'il y ait un impact. Nous pas immigration, nous pas avocat, donc ça fait nous mettez ça dehors, nous bonne explication. Mais si toutefois ou même son décision qu'a peut-être pensé à, nous t'a conseillé ouais un avocat immigration de préférence, c'est eux même qui capable gain réponse, vous comprenez qui capable plus ou moins évaluer cas là et puis ouais qui j'en ça fait. Right guys, cause
Go réponse ça yo, à go question ça
Non,
yo.
mais vraiment aimé ça dit, hein, Jonathan. Bon. Et comme si ça qui est important dans ça, même si nous pas avocat immigration, ça nous a dit, c'est comme si what are the assets we can keep after bankruptcy? So this, I think we could answer that.
Yeah.
So basically, so keeping the assets, there are a lot of states in the US that are having exemptions. So it's just up to you to structure the way. So you could keep your house, depending of equity. You could keep your car, depending of the how much of equity as well. So it's just up to a certain value. So your clothes, your tools, if they are necessary to your work, you could keep that as well. Your 401k, qui c'est comme si on retirement account, your IRA, qui c'est un retirement account, ton forme de retirement account. So, tout ça yo protégé. Donc, ça, ce qui veut dire que comme si bankruptcy, faillite en bon créole, you're not gonna lose everything. C'est juste comme si l'État, bon, structure légale pour comme si ou juste gérer tout bagay. Pour comme si pour recommencer, pas à zéro, parce qu'on base déjà, parce qu'on pas perdu tout bagay, mais just your opportunity to just restructure your finances. Because if you file for bankruptcy, that meant probably your finances wasn't up to par. So it's an opportunity to restructure your finance.
and if you're not aware of that too, here at Economy, this is something that we don't take lightly. When the whole purpose of this show is to educate people about their finances and how they can better manage their finance, and that's why we have the workshops where we do financial assessment. We provide care plan so people can understand what are the steps that they can take to improve their finance. If you're watching right now and you might be struggling with your finances,
We got you.
we got
We
you,
got you.
right? We do those things. You can go on our website, economy.org, where you can find those information on our resources page. We have couples informations that you can find. And also, if you ever want to have a one-on-one financial, I would say, setup where we can do some evaluation of your financial health, we
We
can do
got
that
you.
also. You can just
We
do that
got you.
right on the website, and you will have access to that, and we'll be able to provide and do have a one-on-one session with you where we explain definitely what you can do in those situations, right?
No, thank you for that, Dan. But one of the things I love the angle that you brought, Valdini, and it's not over. when you file for bankruptcy. And one thing that I want everybody to know is once you filed and you went through the trials and tribulations of everything, you have some steps to rebuild what you lost and can even get it even better, I would say. First, you need to get a secured credit card. So you put some money down and that's your limit. 300 is usually a fair number. So you build that up. Second of all, you build your emergency fund because once you build that emergency fund, it kind of changes your psychology around money. So you tell yourself basically, I can save. Step three, just check your credit report just to make sure that the discharge debt are showing and that you're good on that. And then fourth one, track every dollar because probably a wrong system is what put you in the first place to filing the bankruptcy. So track every dollar. And five, give it some time because the money will come back, the credit score will go up. So don't despair. This is not the end. Donc c'est pas la fin du monde. Nous ka toujours recommencer, nous ka toujours faire bail nous grandir.
Even before we switch to another topic, so I don't really, I'm not gonna say I
Oh,
don't really like
So,
the way you said the
someone
money
said,
will come back, but you gotta be very disciplined for the money to come back. Because if you file for bankruptcy and then you're not trying to be rational about it, it's over.
Valdini,
It
we
is
have a question. Somebody asked, what if there is already a judgment in place? So I don't know if if you can, I
a
don't know,
judgment. Like if you're in the
a
bankruptcy
court
court,
hearing.
I don't know. There's I don't know. I don't really know what that means.
I think the person wanted to
I
know
mean,
like
you saw the
what
question,
happens.
so
No,
I
no.
think the
What if
person wanted to ask what happens when you're in court. Like, what if the court is ending it? What are the next steps, really? So they will come to eventually a decision, and they will probably liquidate some of your assets to pay the creditors, and then,
but
fr- yeah,
so are we talking because we got to be specific about it? That's why because that's the gray area. So we don't want to give bad advice financially speaking. So when it's a court hearing, so they are talking about a court hearing in terms of bankruptcy.
I
yes,
believe because that's a topic, so I believe it's related to that.
Yes, but so if you have a court hearing, the best thing you can do, this is not financial advice, but the best thing you can do is just try to comply to what the judge ordered. That's
basically, yeah, they will come
that's
to a decision either way. So
yes,
the
just
creditor
comply
takes you
to
to court.
Oh, so they
The
said the
I don't.
creditor takes you to court. Like if the creditor
Well,
takes you
that
to
would be that would not be bankruptcy, would it? Because
no. This is
the
not
creditor
bankruptcy.
taking
yeah,
you to court has nothing to do with bankruptcy.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's
So
This is
I think that's a step where now you can judge if you need to file for bankruptcy. Because if the creditor
yeah,
is taking you to court, that means you're not able to make your payments, and that's
yeah.
where you should
that's
have a sit down with financial advisor where they can assist you to know if now filing for bankruptcy is the best thing if you're not able to pay for whatever the expenses are, right? And that's
yes,
exactly
sir.
what we're trying to mention. And if
There's
you're in
a
that position and you're thinking, should I file for bankruptcy or not, then that's
you
where
probably
we
should.
are actually explaining to you, if you were to ever take that decision, life is not over. They're not going to seize all your assets. Filing for bankruptcy, there are steps where you can keep certain of your assets, right? And
But
depends of,
speak to a financial advisor.
yes, we are not financial advisors, we are not giving financial advice, we just, the show is for educational purposes, right? So that's why you should mostly, yes, if you can still
Yeah,
apply for it,
well,
yeah,
filing for
fine,
it.
yes. So I think
Filing.
that's where you make the judgment. But we cannot answer that question for you personally. You will have to see a financial advisor in regard of that, I would say. But
The term apply makes it feel like it's a benefit. So it's like probably not apply, but filing. You're like, I'm applying for bankruptcy.
yes, definitely. Let me monitor if we have some other questions on, so everything
Yeah,
else.
but that was a pretty good question though.
Thank you for that question.
Definitely, definitely. So as we were discussing, if you just happen to the live, the major thing that we explain is bankruptcy, what it means to you, what it means to your pocket, and what happens to your assets. when you file for bankruptcy. The first thing, filing for bankruptcy doesn't mean you broke. It's a legal process that exists in the United States. You have the right to file for bankruptcy if things get to a position where you're not able to make your payments, and it's basically you saying that you using the legal system to say that you need help, and you have the right to ask for that. And when that happens, there are impact. It's going to impact your credit score, as Valdini mentioned, but those are things that you can rebuild with small steps, such as after filing for bankruptcy, you can get a small credit card and put, for example, for $300, you keep making payments and all that. And if you are to ever file for bankruptcy, they are not going to seize all your asset. It depends, right? But the best thing to do is always to try to get in contact with financial advisor. We are not financial advisors. This show is only for educational purposes only, because we want to teach our audience and our fellow immigrants and Haitians on how they can better their finances and some options that they can use. Because as immigrants, sometimes we are scared of taking those steps, especially filing for bankruptcy. We might think it's filing for bankruptcy means that you are going to be deported, but it's not the case. It's a legal right that you have, but there will be consequences in both cases. Try to have a immigration attorney and also a financial advisor who can direct you and help you make the right decision, right?
And then Jonathan, before we move to the other topic, also I want people to understand. So bankruptcy is just the final step. It's when you cannot afford um, most of your debts and everything. But there are other steps before bankruptcy. They are just trying to do a payment plan with the creditors. There's also consolidation before bankruptcy. So it's not like, okay, I cannot pay and then so bankruptcy. No, it doesn't work like that. So it's like you have to be very honest with your finances if it's only you, and then you have to think about like, so what can I afford, and then based on this, as long as you can afford the payment, okay, there's no need for bankruptcy. But bankruptcy is just the extreme way in that. So it's like if you can afford it, there's no need for bankruptcy.
Hey, I think you said it well. You said everything. So right now, we are going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to take the topic to another level. We discuss what is bankruptcy, what it means to you. We explain the situation of what happened to Spirit Airlines, and when those things happen to companies, what they can do, what type of bankruptcy that exists, right? Or the chapters. But right now, we're going to bring the topic home, taking it back to Haiti. We're going to discuss about the company in Haiti that has filed for bankruptcy back in the days that some of you might remember, right?
That
So,
company is calling us, right?
hey, it's calling like maybe my name, I don't know, but yeah, yes.
But they filed bankruptcy, so they have no need to call us.
So who's calling?
Anyway, so if that's something that interests you, stay put, don't leave. We're just taking a break. We'll be right back in just a
We
couple of
got you.
minutes. We got you.
Ou branche ekonomi, organize pa kek jen Haitien ki te gen chans kite peyi yo pou vin etudie nan peyi Etats-Unis sou plizye domen takou ekonomi, finance, kontabilite e investisman banke. Objektif nou se pou edike Haitien ka vive nan peyi Etats-Unis sou de domen financier ekonomik pou pemet yo amelyore la vi financier yo. E an menm tan, diskite sou sije ki gen rapor avek ekonomi nan mond lan e petet defwa ki gen rapor avek Haiti spesifikman. Ki gen rapor anseman avek finance, bien économie vini de finanço. Si besoin d'informations sur qui prêt pour t'apprendre la banque pour acheter une machine, qui gens pour gérer dépenses yo, qui gens pour améliorer dépenses et économiser plus l'argent. Qui cadre de crédit que tu as supposé choisir en fonction de sa capacité plus avantage. Qui gens capable de diminuer surtout dette qui a pas accumulé chaque jour dans la vie et permet tout améliorer crédit score pour capable peut-être dans futur arriver à acheter quand ça pour rêver derrière ou bien machine qu'on rêver et même information qui a rapport avec stock market là pour investir l'argent et peut-être améliorer futur. Et nous commençons depuis qu'on a à suivre économie sur YouTube, sur Instagram, sur Facebook, sur TikTok, tout côté n'a porté bon genre information qui a rapport avec façon capable améliorer vie financière aujourd'hui.
Yes, so as promised, we didn't take too long. We just a small break, and we're back. As I said,
Coffee break.
maybe water break, right? Even
Nah, listen.
since you
I
be.
got my water. I got my water all the time.
All right. So now I want to take to this conversation across the world because everything we've talked about, companies going under government bailout, the system around that, and all that exists in a different form in Haiti. For those of you guys who are not aware of that, right now, you might be asking yourself a question: can people in Haiti file for bankruptcy? Can companies in Haiti file for bankruptcy? You might be asking yourself that question, right? And it is important for people in the diaspora community to understand both systems, both in Haiti and in the US, because you need to know the system of where you are right now and where you are also from. Because a lot of us are still sending money back home. A lot of us are still having
Oh, we?
family
You're
running
sending
business.
money
Hey,
back
we
home?
just sent 5 billion. What are you saying? Right?
Oh, us. Okay.
In general, I don't mean us on the panel. Like, I'm pretty sure you'll be sending money back home. Like, don't you? Anyway, a lot of us still have family who run businesses in Haiti, and a
Yeah.
lot of us are sending money in Haiti for people to start businesses. So let's talk about what the financial reality looks like in Haiti right now with Valdini.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that,
Keep it
Jonathan,
real.
because
Keep it real.
yeah, I have to, because let me give everyone a quick context. So, y- did you guys know that it's the seventh consecutive year that we just receding inflation and everything? World GDP fell by 2.7%. Inflation is at 28.3. I had to double check those numbers because I was like, it didn't make sense. So almost all the population, 49%, guys, like half. That's almost half. Like, and those are numbers backed by the UN, so they should be accurate to some extent. They're living with less than $3 a day. So government revenues non-existent because it has dropped to the little it was. It has dropped to 4.8%. So, and on top of that, so that's why when Jonathan said, so can we talk about bankruptcy in Haiti? We are already bankrupted. The entire state is bankrupt. So there has been no elected government in place. The last democratically elected election was in 2023. And I don't want to laugh. I don't want to laugh because it's my country. I love my country. But when you don't have a functioning government, because the state is the one to organize all that, because all of those bankruptcy laws that we're talking about is the state first, the banking institutions and everything. So there's nothing like that. So the financial system has collapsed in Haiti. So that's the reality. That's me being real.
And I know you said you don't want to laugh, and it's not a laughing matter because it's our country. But when we talk about the companies or financial institution going bankrupt in Haiti, or even the state being bankrupt, I think we have to speak about one of the biggest scams in our history, like financially,
Whoa.
and it has to be the cooperative because remember the
Oh,
early
you're going
2000s.
there. You want to go
No,
there?
let's talk about it. When we talk
Okay.
about the cooperative in the early 2000s, they were saving cooperatives that were offering people 10 to 12% monthly, guys. 10 to 12% monthly. Do you know that annually that's
That's why I asked you if you want
120%?
to go there. Nah, it doesn't make sense.
120% per
The stock
year.
market in the US gives on a good year it's 10% on a good year.
So in a country where people don't have any traditional access to don't have access to traditional banking, you're gonna offer 10 to 12% per month. So guess what happened, guys? People took out loans on their houses. The diaspora members sent their life savings back home. People sold their cars. It's not funny, but we have to. It's one of the things where it shows how we have to educate ourselves too. Because 10 to 12% per month. If I offer you a product for 10 to 12% a month, what would you guys do?
Yes.
Oh, you're gonna say yes. You know what? I have a product for
Um,
you, my friend. I will DM you after this.
and that's exactly what happened. Exactly what always happens when something promises return that we cannot. When I say we, because we are Asian, so we cannot back it up. So the cooperative began to follow on. Let's say, if I'm not mistaken, 2000 2002, people couldn't get their money out. Some of the operators disappeared.
Ah,
We-
I'm sorry.
no, like that's not a laughing matter.
I
I
don't want
mean,
to laugh, but you got my
so
money and
no,
you're
because
disappearing.
no, guys, because thousands of Asian families they lost everything.
I'm
And
sorry.
remember, in Haiti, there was no FDIC because FDIC, you're very familiar with that, Ivan,
Yeah.
since you're a banker. So when there was the
Yeah.
FDIC, it let it gave the opportunity to back it up to 250,000, but there
Yeah.
was no guarantee. There was zero guarantee. So
And they
all
still
that,
send their
so
money.
they
Jesus.
lost money and then they still recovering from that.
It's not a
So
laughing
I don't
matter,
want to
but
say
imagine having $100,000 in there. You're looking for that person and they can't be found. I'm sorry. That's valid
I
grounds
mean,
for a
no, no,
crash out.
no. To be honest, I am sad about it. Before we move to something else, but I'm sad about it because if I was at this time, I would have invested. So because
Into 10
that
to
is very sad.
12% a month.
Uh,
Like, you see,
I mean, I
we
I could
need
have
people
known
like
better.
you, man. We need people
an
like
pil
you.
moun ka sonje, an pil moun ka sonje sije kooperatif ki te gen an Haiti. Gwo deka ki kooperatif te fe an Haiti. E sa ki important pou nou pataje sije sa pou kapap konen, se paske mwen men personelman moun kou anke moun ki te investi la jen nan kooperatif e ki te perdi kop yo. Kooperatif sa lèl te vin an Haiti, il te fe moun yon promes, chak mwa ya bo 10% sou kop ko mette nan kompany ya. Ok, ça veut dire sou mette $100, chaque mois y a ba ou $10. Ça veut dire bon, et pas mais et 12 pour 10 à 12%, bon, on dit 10%.
Ça pas
Elle
mal
dit
tout non.
chaque mois y a ba ou 10%. Donc ça veut dire sou mette $100 seulement dans une année ou fait $100 encore. Elle dit l'on nan compte ça ou gen $100 ou gen $200. Elle dit les moun yo tande de bagay kon sa mes amis, moun yo se kou ya met l'argent dans coopérative, moun vend kay, moun vend machine, moun vend cabrit, moun vend bœuf, ya met l'argent dans coopérative. Et c'est ça qui porte en pile dégâts. Mais kon ki ça fait haïtien te prendre bagay coopérative ça, c'est à cause manque éducation. Par un côté on moun prale yo dit y a pour 10 à 12% par mois sous l'argent là pour te prendre
D'accord.
la donne. Pour qui ça? Parce que pi gros système financier qui existe dans le monde là, on dit stock market là aux États-Unis, il y a un pi gros système yo, li pas promet tout 10 à 12% par mois. Elle dit c'est non année, non bon année côté bagay yo bien passé, li ka fait 8 à 10%. Mais
Et
non
même là encore
Haïti,
pas pour mettre les. Même là
et
encore
même
pas
là
pour
encore
mettre.
pas promettre ou li. Et sou fel nan mois ça, sou fel nan année ça, nan année prochaine nous pas faire. Mais Haïti yo te di moun coopérative yo, chaque mois 10% garanti. Et tout le monde est tombé pour lui. Vous comprenez ça veut dire
Yo, that's
son
crazy.
système yo te vinn vendre Haïti qui pas exister dans aucun côté dans le monde là et qui pas jamais exister dans aucun côté dans le monde là, ça
Qui
va
pas
jamais
doit
exister.
exister à quel
Qui
côté.
pas doit exister. Parce que qui côté
Bon.
pour moun bon qualité pourcentage comme ça, faut que li gon côté la fait comme là. Qui côté pour faire comme là? Val, attendez, faut comprendre différence entre si moun nan fait garantie ya avec 1 moun et puis 10 moun avec s'il fait là avec des milliers de moun. Il pas limité quantité comme vous
Ça
ka
vient un
déposer.
Ponzi scheme parce que les gens qui font là, ils font encore bagage.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
si
But
on
yo la vele.
si on
Yo la vele.
si on moun dit me prêter $100, li tellement besoin, li ka bam $200 demain, on ka comprendre ça. Mais comme y a l'on pas limité quantité comme ou ka mette, ou pas limité qui quantité moun qui ka déposer comme et pour dire tout monde ça, ou peu importe quantité, y a besoin 10% chaque mois.
Mais
Non, on a fait
Jonathan,
100% et plus sur l'argent. Ouais.
on va voir la technique de la chose comme si 10% au début, il n'est pas vraiment crazy. Quand il y a là, l'on a regardé comme si en rétrospective, il est vraiment crazy. Parce que bon, m'explique pour qui ça. Donc, comme si, yo te ka, aussi, je nous te fait dernière émission nous sous prêt agricole. Parce que si et 10% par mois. $100 by $10. C'est comme si que yo te littéralement investi dans de série de développement durable. Parce que c'est ça que l'idée avant, pour me dire. C'est pas comme si nous avons un marché boursier. Parce que Haïti pas un marché boursier. Donc, c'est comme si que vous avez vraiment investi dans marché durable. C'est comme si vous avez vraiment créé richesse. Ah, 10% pas vraiment comme ça. Parce qu'un pile pays fait, Singapour fait, etc. C'est juste que Jean te fait là, pour me rejoindre nous, c'est que yo te fait sans yo pas de connaître côté comme ça d'avoir sorti. Mais, ou mettre quoi? Ça est moins qu'à prendre ça pour me dire. C'est comme si, littéralement, l'été fait le ça et que nous te font fonds national avec $100, 10%, li pas tape vraiment autant que ça. Li pas tape vraiment affecté communauté comme ça. C'est juste que $100, là, 10%, li te fait sans plan, sans richesse, sans création de rien, etc. Parce que on parle vraiment des années 2000. Nous pas tout le monde ça yo. Et comme si investissement yo était vraiment fiable et te gen pile côté nous te ka investir. Donc pour me juste résumer tout ça pour nous parce que les gars ont commencé vraiment tard mais et c'est juste que c'est planté là mais exécution pas de fait.
Bon,
Mais
I
dans,
would
il y a
love
un
to go
bail
in.
qui est
No, no.
important, c'est que plan pas de partager à mon yo, pas de une idée de
Et téléphone moi gen t'a
That's
vibré
what.
un peu mon a parlé mal en bas ça.
No, that's good, but no, no, no.
qualité de
On va,
sujet.
on va besoin nous d'accord. On va
Non, yo
non. On va besoin nous d'accord. Pas quel côté dans le monde, dans l'histoire du monde côté qu'on va à 10%
non,
10% le
li
mois.
fait dans
10%
li
le mois.
fait Yvan. Yeah, li fait.
10% le
Li,
mois qui
li fait
sustainable.
Arabie Saoudite.
Bon,
Li fait Singapour, li fait Arabie Saoudite, li fait
10% le mois
Malaisie,
return.
li fait Honda, li fait comme si c'est juste que ou mettre parce que 10% le mois mes amis. Ça pas rien vraiment non. C'est comme si on plan de développement
Mais
global.
les gros termes.
Let's say even 10% a month, everybody in the world will be investing in that because
So I'm saying
there's nowhere they're
No,
going
but
to
that
afford
10%
that
gotta
people
be
on that.
specific,
Yes,
Jonathan.
but that's what I'm saying. There were no there was no structure in it at all to begin
Yeah,
with,
exactly.
right? And we
So
still
it's
fell
like
for
that 10% gotta be specific. C'est comme si que pour nous financer, c'est comme si que moi dis comme ça, ok, et la pleine du cul de sac ou mettre $100 sous les pas et carotte et puis boum, mais qui ça m'a ba ou?
But
Oh.
Valdini, again, one thing that I mentioned is that is possible. But for it to be possible, the amount of people who can be invested has to be limited. Because
Yes,
I'm
there
pretty
needs
sure
to be a cap.
I'm
There
pretty
needs to be a
sure-
cap for how much
Yes.
money.
Yeah, there is a
There
cap.
needs to be
There
a
is
cap for
Yes,
how
it-
long
yes.
it's going to be. It's not
Yes.
sustainable
Yes.
to keep it going.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a plan. It's a
Because
world plan. It's a
I'm
world
pretty
plan.
sure in companies, early investors and
Yes.
YouTube and Facebook,
Yeah.
Apple, I'm pretty sure they promised them more than what they like 100% or so, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it was limited. It was an entire project. They were able to see where the money was going to come from and how the money was going to grow and multiply. The plan was there and people invested, and I'm pretty sure it was not open to the public. It was limited, and that's what I was trying to say. It could
I
be
like-
possible, but for it to be possible, it has to be limited and
See,
structured.
I like how heated we are with this argument. So that's why I feel like it's perfect that the next phase of our show, that's why it's calling us. I can see, like, because we were trying to see what you're laughing about, but we're trying to see really how bankruptcy affects Haiti. And that subject, see how we were heated? So it's calling us. So I think we should just tell everybody really what we're going to talk about, really. What company
So,
we're going to talk about, really.
Yeah, we should talk about Haitel, why not?
Ding, 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 ding.
So Haitel was bankrupted.
What happened to Haitel, Valdini?
So I mean, based on what I know, so Haitel they owed so much, so that it was the first Haitian telecommunication international before Natcom, before Digicel, before Comcel, Voila, and everything. It was, I think it was a market leader. So this was literally Haiti's first mobile, and then they went to bankruptcy because the way they went to bankruptcy is that they never updated. So they never adjusted to the market, and then once they had the competitors, the numbers are there also, and then they had to declare bankruptcy. Yeah, they definitely fell down.
It
That
all
was
fell down. But Jonathan, what can you tell us about Haiti? Like, give us a little background on Haitel, because I know you guys remember Haitel.
I mean, to
you
begin with,
guys,
in
remember I'm very young. I'm
We
very
are
young,
the
Ivan.
same age. We're not
I
disclosing our
am no,
age,
we're not.
but I will
We're
not
not.
take
We're
this
not.
slander. We are
I'm
the
not.
same age.
For everyone listening, I'm not.
All right.
I have I have a question before we dive any deeper into this. Any of you ever had an Haitel phone?
I was too young to have
Yeah.
Haitel, but I remember what?
Valdini, you had an
Brother,
Haitel phone?
what?
Not a mobile phone, but there was a landline.
It was a landline. It was the home landline. But
Yeah, I had the landline.
Anyway, that's good to know. But hey,
where are you going with this? Where are you going
hey,
with
I'm
this?
not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not saying anything.
No,
But
I know that little.
hey, for those who did not grow up in Haiti and who never heard about Haitel, or maybe were too young at that time to know about Haitel, Haitel was Haiti's first telecommunication company, right? Haitel was founded by an Haitian American businessman named Frank Sidney, and he was a former executive at MCAD WorldCom, and they launched in March 1999 as Haiti first mobile carrier. So let's say the first Verizon or AT&T, I don't know which one was the first in the US, but that was the first mobile carrier system or
He
phone
was
in
a
Haiti,
pioneer.
right?
Yeah.
It was Haitel. So the first possibility that people had to have a mobile phone in Haiti, it was through Haitel.
Haitel.
So you can tell already when Haitel came, Haitel was the deal. Haitel was Haitel before
Haitel was
Digicel,
hot.
not Comcell. Why Haitel was it back then? Okay, and what happened is Haitel did a lot of investment. They built towers to have a system, everything. Right, they were literally the only mobile option in Haiti for a few months, or maybe for a few. I think for a few months, and then
Wait,
Comcell.
you're talking about the earthquake?
No.
Around the
I'm talking
earthquake?
way before the earthquake.
No, the
Like
way
when they
before.
first established,
I
right?
tell had a good 4 years.
Yeah, because what?
They
It
had
was
a
like 1999 and then
1999,
2005,
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
I would say between them and Comcel, they had around 500,000 subscribers. So I would say 500,000 people with the landline or the service. That was, again, the first mover. Everything was hot. And then we know what happened in 2006. Digicel came around. Digicel came around with so many free perks. I know, and that's way after, I would
You
say,
probably had a
20
Motorola.
probably, like, I don't know.
Alcatel. You had
It was like,
Alcatel.
no, you remember those little phones that look like the deodorant bottles?
I don't.
That was the
Not my
first phone
tax
I,
bracket, bro.
Motorola tête one.
yeah, that was the
yeah.
first phone I had in 20, wait,
Hey,
was it 28,
just a flex.
28?
I had the flip phone, the Alcatel, the flip
Hello
Alcatel.
motel.
Flip Alcatel. Yo, that
No, but
back in the day, that was it, guys. When you had a mobile phone, when GSL came along, I think maybe 2007
and
or 8.
it shows in
is
the
when-
numbers too, because 500,000 were shared between Comcel and Haitel, and then when GCell came, they had a whopping 1.4 million.
Yeah, it's because
Just
GSL
like
was
right off the
offering
bat.
a lot of. I think in Haitel, for you to call me, I need to add minutes on my phone.
Yeah,
So when GSL came along, you can call
Free
someone
incoming.
even if they don't have minutes.
yeah.
I think that's the thing that sold it. It's like even if I don't have minutes, you can call me, right, and I can answer, but I cannot call you back. That was.
I mean,
So
I
that
think-
can
I
explain
think-
also.
I think Digicel-
I think that explains also why people back then didn't call each other. Because listen, if you're gonna call me and I have to pay,
Yo, we both pay.
I mean, I think also.
Maybe we don't
I
need to
think
be
also-
talking like-
Imagine that if I didn't even want to talk to you, you calling me and I'm
You
paying.
call
for the
me and I
call,
have to
don't even
pay?
want to be on that phone.
maybe
I
I
know,
don't
but,
need to
I
talk
mean,
to you.
For real.
Let's
I mean,
write
if
to
I'm
each
being-
other.
If I'm being serious, I think TCL killed it with two. This is very important for any people listening to us that wants to do a competitive advantage. So DGCL killed it with SMS and then Appelle-moi. Appelle-moi was so crazy because it's like you don't even have to call a person. You can just beep them and then Appelle-moi. So like
It's
if
like
that
you
person,
you don't have credits, so you're not able to make a phone call, but you can
yeah,
send a text to that person and let them know, call me.
Call me.
yeah,
Guys,
call me.
the
It's
features
like
were crazy. Now that we're thinking about it, back then the features were crazy.
Dude, they had a thing where you can send 5 messages and you get 50, like,
Yo,
free.
I mean,
Like,
it started 3 4:30, but
yeah, two for
okay.
or something like that. Yo,
it was like
SMS.
free.
Yo,
And after that,
those
yo,
were
the
the things.
features, the
Those were
features
the
were
things.
off the
Those were the
chain.
thing. Another thing it was
So now
uh
we understand for DSL. So they exploded. They really took all the market. So guess what happens to
Yeah.
Haitel?
yeah, that's
Because if you're in a competitive market and you're bleeding cash,
yes. So since Haitel was the first company, they did a lot of investment and they had a lot of subscribers. So they were able to jungle around, and take care of the market. But when DSL came along with all those services at a cheaper price, and I think GSL was a bigger company because there were a lot of more investors, so they had more money, they were able to offer more services, and then people left ITEL and went to GSL. So Haitel didn't have as many subscribers, and then I think the 2010 earthquake came along, and I think that's when things got worse for Haitel because
oh
Haitel
yeah,
Haitel was actually one of the only phones or service carrier that was still working after the earthquake
yeah,
because their system were built like to resist to those type of things. But sadly, they didn't have the engineering system. They didn't have enough money for fuel. Similar to Spirit, who now is filing for bankruptcy or shut
so
down
fuel
because of
runs the
increase
world.
in fuel prices. So that was one thing that affected ITEL, and then you know what happened next to the
They
story.
never recovered from it. And I feel like the nail that basically in the coffin is that the tax debt fit him like completely finished them. They were having money the issues with fuel,
Hmm.
and then to add on that, they owed the Haitian government 38 millions in unpaid taxes from 2006 to 2009. I gotta say, if you owe the Haitian government 38 million, you gotta start doing better with your finances. I'm sorry. And then um, that's just the Haitian government, 38 million, but their total debt was about 80 million. So in 2012, the courts they placed Aitel in basically in recovership, well receivership. My apologies, and their assets were seized. Francine ended up being in a U.S. federal court in Brooklyn trying to recover 246 million worth of assets. So a company that started as the 80s pride in telecommunication ended up um, in a courtroom in New York. So I feel like this is the same story as Spirit Airlines because just in Haiti's context, they were the first mover. Competitive disruption came up, debt piles up, disaster hit, assets were seized, company disappears. The same movie, the same story, but it's a different country. At the end of the day, I feel like it was a fuel problem. So fuel really we can say that they ran out of fuel. Just to be funny, but they ran out of fuel basically. What would you say to that, Joe?
I mean, basically, like we mentioned, with what happened with ITEL, it's similar to what happened to Spirit, right? It's big companies, first movers. Spirit was offering cheap services. ITEL was the first company in Haiti, and I think at that time they were offering the services at an affordable price because it's not something the country was used to. But when GSL came, bigger investment, being able to provide the services at a cheaper price, more services, more features, and all that. so it makes it easier for people. And what happened? People left Haitel, went to GSL, and those are the things that happen. Those are how companies go bankrupt. It's like they don't have enough money to take care of their businesses, right? And they don't have enough money to pay taxes, and they were begging the government for bailout, right? And that's what we wanted to mention. And the system of if Haiti is able to bail out companies when they are doing bankruptcies, filing bankruptcies, right? And we know we have BLH in Haiti, right? BLH is basically Haiti's central bank. They do regulate the banking system and have the minimum capital requirements to financial institution. But here's the reality: the three largest banks control over 80% of banking assets in Haiti. We have Sojibank, BNC. They are the largest financial institution in Haiti, right? So, which means it, even BRH has the power, but it's not easy for them to provide or to regulate the market the same way that I will say the Federal Reserve can actually do that in the states, right? And it's important for people to understand that aspect of the business.
So, are we talking? So, are we definitely talking about having an oligopoly in Haiti?
Ooh.
I mean,
I
that's
mean, this is exactly what Jonathan said, though.
you raising a very important question.
So, but okay, so because it is very important, and in terms of bankruptcy, it is very important to avoid bankruptcy to not have oligopoly. Because once you have oligopoly, if couple of institutions fail, they fail together. So it's like that's not for a coincidence that there was the housing crisis in 2008, the Great Depression in 1929, and then I didn't want to say that, but that's not for a coincidence that the Chinese government is likely having a full control on the banking institutions. Because no, Eva, I know you're raising your eyebrows, but it's like,
Listen, listen. I'm letting you
but
speak.
no,
Keep it
no,
real.
no. So no, for real, as you said. So it's like it is important for you to have a control on the institutions. And I did like the fact that Jonathan mentioned the different banking institutions in Haiti, because that's the easiest way for us if we were to build a country that is sustainable in term financially speaking, to not have that little bank. Because every company, every banks that are trying to invest in Haiti, they have they are afraid. They are afraid to invest more because they don't want to be a new Haitel. So it's time for us to build the environment, the economic system, so that they know, yes, we can invest and we're not gonna end up like Haitel.
So we have one question. The question says, what lessons should Haitian entrepreneurs and learn from the rise and fall of companies like Haitel? What can small entrepreneurs or Haitian entrepreneurs learn of the story of what happened to both Spirit and the US and also to Haitel in a country like Haiti?
I would say, me personally, it's a bit different. So you guys might think different, but I feel like before going into any ventures, you should assess the proper risk. What are your risks for competition? What are your risks for operating your cash flow and whatnot? Ultimately, it's what's going to determine if you're staying. And you have to understand sometime too, your company has a has an expiration date probably if you're an entrepreneur. Probably there are some companies that are growing models. For example, YouTube. YouTube is a constant growth model, but not all the companies are built to be constant growth. Sometimes you have to know that there's an exit strategy. Is your exit strategy to be absorbed by a bigger company? Like, all those are always questions that you should ask yourself as an entrepreneur. There's always has to be an exit strategy.
Okay.
I,
Alright,
I,
I
I
see.
like that. I think one thing that entrepreneurs can learn from what happened to Spirit and what happened to Haitel and Haiti is knowing in any market you can be the pure pioneer, or you can be the entry company in that market, right?
Yeah, the
But you have
market
to
leader.
understand you can be the market leader, but at some point there will be competition. There is always competition in any market. So no matter what business that you are starting, you might be the first one with that idea that doesn't exist at all in the market, but you have to understand at some point you are going to have competition. So what are your plans when competitions come along? Because if there's competitors, it means that that is going to impact your price. Because the first thing that competitors do is bringing their price down. If you're offering something at $20, they start offering it at $15 and with more features. So
Yep.
what are you going to do when that comes along, right? So that's one thing that I can leave Haitian entrepreneurs with.
But so since I want to take from what you guys said, so the only thing I wanted to add on that is that you have to know the reality, because like we can take Marriott as an example. So
Okay.
Marriott, unfortunately, with the security context, Marriott had to close doors, but it happened because that Marriott underestimated the risk in Haiti. So Marriott did the building in a neighborhood that wasn't that safe, because if Marriott was like, let's say, in the upper hills in Haiti, it wouldn't close. So it's like we have to think about the reality. So as an investor, you always have to take the risk, and then don't try to just apply some kind of formula. You have to literally know the risk. If you're doing business in Haiti, you have to think that Haiti is a country with risk for, unfortunately, so you have to adjust for that.
And one thing, for example, uh, that we have to understand, Spirit had a system. The system was to sell things or sell flights as at a very cheap price. And in order for that system to work, there needs to be people constantly buying flights.
Flying.
So
Yep.
the moment that, so it was about volume. So the amount of people who actually buy the flights, right?
Yep.
That's why we all know that in our community sometimes people are selling something at a price where they don't take account into the volume. They are selling something
Mm,
for $50 and it makes it less affordable to people. But if they were selling it for $30, more people would be buying it, right? So that's
I
which
when
would
people,
totally
increase their
agree.
revenues.
yes, bringing up
Yeah.
their revenue. So Spirit in that option, they prefer to rely on volume. So we're going to set it as a cheap price, but we're going to have so many people buying it that it's not going to affect us.
Yeah, just basically economy of scale, because Spirit was thriving before the pandemic.
Yes.
Spirit was making a lot of money before the pandemic, but the pandemic came and then flights went down and then
Mm-hmm.
they got bankrupted.
Yes. So I think depending
Yeah,
on your
which is
service.
crazy too. And sorry to cut you off, Jonathan, but
Mm-hmm.
in its whole entire run, Spirit had never had a major crash, which is unheard
Yeah,
of.
they've been a very good
Yes.
company overall. Yeah.
Yeah, about 35 years I think, no major crash.
Yes. So one thing that I wanted to mention is knowing the weak sides of your business model. The weak part of Spirit business model was relying on volume. So the moment something happened and I don't have a lot of people buying flights, you have to know that is going to affect your business model. So now, what are you going to do when that happens? And maybe they had a
Yeah.
plan, and that's why they were able to system themselves for a while. But depending on for how long it goes, then the impact is going to hit you at some point, right? So regarding of your business model, knows what are the weak parts of your business model and have a solution for when those things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know
So
if we have any more questions.
Is this
Uh,
part? Is this the part of the show where we open it to questions?
yes, we've been
no,
opening it to
we've been
question.
answering
But
No,
questions.
no, no. Like more formal,
one
more
thing,
formal.
I want a little feedback from our audience. if you're watching, please do us a favor. Can you let us know if those things that we just shared about bankruptcy, how it affects you, what are the steps, what can you do? Let us know. Is Are those things that you knew before? Did you find that conversation very educative?
Interactive.
Did you learn a lot from that conversation? Let me know in the comments right now. All those things that you knew before, did you know what happened exactly to Haitel? And do you think now you have a better understanding of what is bankruptcy, how that it can affect, and all that? Let us know in the comment. I want a little feedback. You know,
Val looks so different without his glasses. I
do
just
me
got a head like this.
do me a favor in the comment. Let me check the comments right now. Do me a favor, right?
I look prettier.
Let me see. Let me see.
Hey yo,
You look prettier.
yo, his words got you on
We
camera.
we have another question, but I have a question first. Can I get some answers, please?
Yeah,
What's up?
that's the question.
No, I already asked a question. I want people watching to let me know if
Oh,
people think
okay. I
Okay,
thought
okay,
you
okay.
had
I thought you
another
had a
question.
question.
they
I
knew
Yeah.
prior to the live, right? But I don't know if our audience is not cooperating, we cannot force them, right? What can we do?
Don't be shy.
What can we do?
Hmm.
What can we do? Let
Ask
me see.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do, Valdini? What can we do?
There's nothing much because I think I like that show. So that was a very good show
Well,
in
while
my
we're
end.
waiting for oh wait, I knew some of it. Okay, not all of it. Well, we have a question here. Well, not really a question. It's a comment. I knew some of it, not all of it.
Okay.
Well, that's great. I
Okay.
mean, hopefully the conversation was stimulating enough for you to learn some more, to add some knowledge to what you already knew. So,
I
it's
have
always a pleasure for us here at Economy to do that.
so so before we move, I have another question. I have another question in the chat. I think that's a very
Okay.
important question, Valdini. Let me put this one.
Valdini. Yo, why
Yes, we
always
want
me,
you to
bro?
answer it,
No,
Valentine.
I'm not saying I want you to answer. You don't have to.
We want you to answer it,
You don't have
Valentine.
to
Pressure,
copy
full
it.
pressure. Pressure him.
I mean, no pressure.
Pressure.
I'm here
What?
to
What
I'm here
pressure?
to service the
Can a
audience.
company truly recover after bankruptcy, or does public trust never fully come back?
I think that's.
Mm, so should I answer it elaborately or I don't know? But yes, a company can fully recover about bankruptcy. I mean, after bankruptcy, because that's the idea about it. Like, just try to negotiate your debts. That's why bankruptcy is the way to get out of debts that you cannot pay. So public trust, this is very specific and personal. It depends of which type of company you have and what's your way about it. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say you're a company that are making sneakers, just basic example. So you could just literally say that because you are trying to harvest biomaterial, that's why you went bankrupt. So it's just about your marketing department after this. But definitely, long story short, any company can recover after bankruptcy.
I mean, I don't
So
know about you guys, but I don't. I'm trying to think of companies that have come back from bankruptcy and thrived.
Trump Tower.
I didn't want. apart
I mean, I
from
don't know, bro.
uh,
apart from that,
can
I was
can
thinking
can
more of
I
a.
can I
I
say
was
it in a
thinking more of
different
a. I'm
ways?
sorry, you're gonna have to give me a second. I was thinking more of a. sorry, I was thinking more of a brand. For example, I don't know if you guys remember, 50 Cent. He declared for bankruptcy, like, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, he has a whole rebranding and is very successful in his
Ah, le
ventures right
chemin du
now.
roi.
Yeah, with his alcohol deal,
It cognac.
his
He does
yeah.
a cognac. Mm-hmm.
So I know about the rebranding of the, like, let's say, like, your image, but I never really heard of a company just coming back and gaining the public's trust. Cause
Yeah, you can. You
Let
definitely can.
let let me let
You
me
just
give
need a good financial team. But yeah, you
Hold
can
on, hold on, hold on. What was that again?
like trust economy with your finances if you have that company.
Right. So let me put that. Even I'm going to hide the office a little bit. Let me put that. I'm going to hide right in his face and Eva's face.
Wow.
And different places, right? So this is what I want people to remember. If you forgot anything that we said on the live, I want you to remember those three things. There are three different types of bankruptcy, right? We have Chapter 7, liquidation. That means you sell your assets. If you sell your assets, you basically have money. Let's say a company might have real estate. So they have offices, they have stuff like they have multiple offices. So the first thing that they do, they'll sell those offices. So they ask for time and then they liquidate their asset. They'll sell offices, they get the money and then they pay the money, right? We have chapter 11. Chapter 11 is reorganization, right? And this is what Spirit tried to do twice. Reorganization is when you ask for time, right, to reorganize your debt, find a way out. Because reorganization doesn't mean it's over. So I want you to understand when we say you file for bankruptcy, it doesn't mean everything is over. Is a thing that you do a legal process to ask for time to restructure, sell some assets, or do some payment plan. Those are three options. So now I have a list of companies that I can share with you that maybe you didn't know file for bankruptcy, right? Macy's filed for bankruptcy
Mm-hmm.
in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
They did chapter 11. People still shop at
So
Macy's.
it stayed on their records for
10 years.
10,
10,
10
I
years.
think 10 years. Yes, right? Macy's did that. Or the major airlines have done that. American Airlines,
Crazy,
Delta
crazy.
Airlines,
JetBlue is on the
JetBlue
verge.
is on the might get there soon to
Not
file for
JetBlue.
bankruptcy, right?
We love JetBlue.
Yeah,
So
no, JetBlue is definitely on the verge.
United,
Brightline is on the verge. If
y-
someone is from Florida, Brightline, the train company,
The
is on the
train,
verge.
yes,
Jesus.
United Airline did that, right? I'm not sure, but I wouldn't. I think BlackBerry is a Canadian company, but I wouldn't. I'm
Oh
pretty sure BlackBerry
yeah,
filed for
yeah.
bankruptcy because what
And
That's a
happened?
good
The
example.
What
Yeah.
Haitian
happened to that?
audience, should be
BBM told me
very,
anyway,
very familiar with BlackBerry.
right? So those are companies that have filed for bankruptcy, but they came back. So I want you to remember that bankruptcy doesn't mean it's over. It's a legal process. You ask for time, you restructure, you liquidate some assets, or you do a payment plan, basically. So
Yeah,
I hope that answers your question.
basically.
Basically.
Economy did not, but yeah,
Probably never will.
Amen.
never will.
But hey,
We never know though.
I wish economy is not in
anyway,
a
Valdino.
case study, just like hey, I tell like
I
hey,
mean, no,
economy is the first Haitian company. No,
no,
I
let's
don't
not
want
do
that,
that.
bro.
Like that, that's bad energy, Eva. Thank you.
Right?
Mr.
So
Energy.
yes, so I think we thank you for your time. We thank you for
Amen.
being on the show with us today. I think we had a great conversation, very interactive conversation. We hope that we answered all your questions regarding all those
Fayit. Bankruptcy.
bankruptcy, what you can do, and we did a little throwback with Haitel in the first days and months of Digicel, the features that they brought to the country and all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope it was very informative. I hope you were able to learn a lot tonight. And we will see you next Wednesday for a better show. Always better. We keep on improving. And hopefully with all four of us. And hopefully with also Valdini without glasses. Because some people ask for that. They say you look better without glasses. So
He
Oh
looks
wow.
prettier.
Show the pretty face.
Oh la la, oh la la,
Me va la blush. You.
oh la la. Why is
Hey,
he turning
really super.
red?
I
Why you
mean,
turning red, my
thank
boy?
you, thank
You
you, thank
turning red,
you.
my boy. But yeah,
It goes to my heart.
I don't know if you guys have something to say before we close, but yeah.
No, it's always a pleasure to be here and to interact with you. Today we did not have my I would say my eternal nemesis on the panel
Whoa.
because whenever I have a position, Fabrice is always against it, and it's always a pleasure debating and going in. So next Wednesday, I hope that Fabrice is here. We definitely miss you and the show always with your energy. So we got it.
Anything to say, Mr. Valdini?
All right, so thank you guys for being with you. So because this show was personal, because coming from a third country, so bankruptcy was very personal because like the entire country is bankrupted. So, but
Dang, don't say it like that.
I wanted to just bring the perspective that it's not over, and then especially it's a it's a taboo word in the U.S. So when we say bankruptcy in the U.S., it's very bad. So, but it's something that if it can help you, you can just it's like on we saw on Bon Creole. It's like you go back and then you can even go
You can
better
shoot,
from
but
this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Val, I just want to ask if there's bankruptcy, like, is it just like if the whole state is bankrupted, is there such a thing as bankruptcy per capita, or should we add that measure?
Maybe we should have that
That
one.
is, we should that
On
metric doesn't exist, but that's a good
on the
idea.
verge that Haiti's going, we might be the first
You
country
coming?
Bankruptcy,
to have
bankruptcy per capita.
Hey,
Oh,
But
but that's
no,
not a good metric you want to be on. But yeah,
but it's a
we could do
metric.
that.
yeah.
It's still a metric.
Once again,
Anyways, guys, thank
thank
you
you for
for
your
having
time.
us, and
Thank you
then
for having
for
us.
next Wednesday.
Let us
Next
know,
Wednesday.
as always, what we can improve on the show, what you enjoyed, what we could have done better, and any suggestions, any topics that you would like for us to discuss, bringing
We
them
got you.
to our attentions. Or DMs are always open for such top subjects specifically. And we will see you next Wednesday around such time for a better show with all of us. Once again,
Interesting to hear the okay. Interesting to hear the perspective of Giselle's intro to the market on Haitel. It made me want to look into how the telecommunication company where I'm from survived the intro of Giselle to our market. That's very interesting. I know Giselle is mostly like isn't it like an Irish company, but that's really based in the
I
Caribbeans.
mean, the CEO is Irish. I don't know if
Okay.
it's an Irish company.
Yeah.
it's a
But it's
multi.
very established in South. It's yeah, it's a conglomerate. It's a conglomerate. So but they are most likely established in South America and the Caribbean. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to see
I
how
don't think.
Giselle in their market. Like I know, for example, Giselle is in Jamaica, so that would be nice to
I
see
mean,
how.
Digicel. I mean, the Jamaicans been complaining about Digicel. Not as
Yeah,
much as us, but the Jamaicans been complaining
I
about
feel like
Digicel.
it's one of the points where we get together. Like, yeah, I
But
understand your pain.
Colombia, not really. Colombia hasn't been complaining like this
Oh,
about
okay, about
Digicel.
Giselle.
So I think they adjust the service depending of what country they are. So
Mr. Valdini, if you want to continue to have that conversation with our audience, we can you can feel free to go on your own personal platform and start the live as of right now. I'm pretty sure they would be happy to join you.
You don't have to
I
say
mean,
it
if
like
he's the one
that.
who asked the question.
Hey,
I just read a question, but thank you.
see you guys next week.
See you next
Yup.
Wednesday.
Alright.